Hello and a warm welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here. Today, we'll be discussing prelims questions of the week that's gone by. We'll see how multiple questions from the news can be developed and how it can come in the UPSC as a statement question. So, this is our first question. You can also solve along with me. We'll see how this can be solved. So, the question is how many of the following statements are correct? This is the most typical format the UPSC is asking right now since 2022, 23, and 24, and as well, the questions will come. So, regarding drug sensitive tuberculosis, that is DSTB in India. So, what are the statements? That World Tuberculosis Day is observed annually on February 18. Now, this is a factual statement. Alright, you cannot eliminate it if you do not know about it. Second thing, National TB Elimination Program (NTP) recommends treatment for DSTB using single medications to minimize side effects. Now, this will need to know. Third thing is India has the world's highest burden of tuberculosis, making drug-sensitive tuberculosis a pressing public health concern. This can be a possibility. The fourth thing is that DOTS strategy for TB treatment primarily relies on patient education and motivational counseling to ensure adherence to the program. All right. And the next statement is drug resistance TB strain develop more readily. That means faster in patient diagnosed with DSTB. All right. So let's see. So from where is the source of the news? Source of the news. This news is from the Hindu. So what was the news? Activists write to PM highlighting the shortage of vital anti-TB drugs. All right. So first statement was February 18, but it is incorrect. It is celebrated on March 24th. Now we need to know why. So in order to remember this, so on this date in 1882, Dr. Robert Koch, he was a very famous scientist, a physicist and microbiologist, announced his discovery of Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacterium. All right, so TB was discovered on this day. The bacillus that causes tuberculosis. So please remember the shape of the bacteria is also like a bacillus. There are multiple forms of bacteria such as the bacillus, the coma shape, the vibrio. All right, just such as lactobacillus, rod shaped. All right, vibrio means comma shaped. Okay, so this discovery was major breakthrough in understanding and combating the disease. All right. Second thing is about the NTP. So NTP is National TB Elimination Program, formerly known as the Revised National Tuberculosis Control Program, that is RNTCP. So it is India's public health initiative to combat TB. So please remember this all. Launched in 1997, it follows the WHO's directly observed treatment for short course DOTS strategy. So please remember that this DOTS strategy is recommended by the WHO. Okay, it is not indigenous strategy of India. Okay, now coming to DSTB, that is drug susceptible tuberculosis or sensitive. So this refers to the ideal scenario where the TB bacteria are susceptible to the standard first line anti-TB medications. So what happens whenever let's say there is a this bacteria is there, it has some form of DNA. All right, and it is making some sort of protein. That protein is, let's say, harmful or deleterious to human health. All right, so what we'll give, it will give some sort of medication that will destroy this cell wall or DNA. All right, but what eventually happens, this mutates. All right, and develops a resistant form. Now, this resistant form cannot be killed with this single or simple medicine. All right, so this is what we are talking about, the drug susceptible tuberculosis. All right. The next thing is DRTB, that is drug resistant tuberculosis. So this situation has come where the pill is not working basically. So this signifies a more complex situation. Here, the TB bacteria has developed resistance to one or more of the first line anti-TB drugs. So this is a bigger problem than the DSTB. All right. So this makes the infection more difficult to treat. The same infection, but just a different advanced stage, requiring a longer and more complex treatment regimen with different medications. All right, now let's come into a third statement. So India accounted for world's highest burden of tuberculosis in 2022. That is according to a WHO report. All right, so this statement may be correct. So WHO Global Tuberculosis Report says that around 87% of the world's total cases in 2022 emerged from 30 high burden countries, and India is the highest with 27% burden. All right, so how much of the world's whole burden? 27%. That means if 100 cases are there in the world, 27 are in India. So we are the most populous country. All right, with a rather low level of hygiene, you can say environmental hygiene, especially in let's say houses that has multiple people. All right, or workers working, they are working in factories. Especially this case was in Assam, the tea gardens of Assam. Okay, this TB study case you can read from tea gardens of Assam. And there are multiple countries followed by Indonesia, China, etc. We don't have to do anything with them. Now in India, 2.8 million cases. All right, 1 million is 10 lakh. So 28 lakh cases of TB was registered, and of them, 3,42,000 people, about 12% died. All right, so the fatality rate was around 12%, and this is a very high fatality rate, you can say. All right, now let's talk about the DOTS. So this is a core element of DOTS, that is directly observed therapy. So constant direct supervision. Constant direct supervision. So here what happens, that a healthcare worker or trained volunteer directly observes the patient swallow their TB medication during the initial most critical phase of treatment. What happens if the let's say patient, okay, he is reluctant to eat the medication and has eaten, let's say, 1 2 medications, or did not follow the course. So what happens, his DSTB, drug sensitive or drug susceptible TB, develops into a DRTB. Okay, now as he did not kill the bacteria entirely, some bacteria survived and later reproduced the mutated bacteria, and now it has become the DRTB. So if he again starts to take this simple medication, all right, it won't help him. Okay, so he has to be given various different type of cocktail medicines. Now what happens, we will prevent this only via DOTS. Okay, direct observation. So this is DOTS. All right, so now let's come back to the question itself. Just a second. All right. So World Tuberculosis Day is celebrated annually on February 18th? No, it is on March 24. National TB Elimination Program recommends treatment for DSTB using single medications to minimize side effect? No. Multiple medications? All right. India has the world's highest burden of the tuberculosis. This is correct. The DOTS strategy for TB treatment primarily relies on patient education and motivation? No. Okay, they actually supervise the patient, so this is correct. And drug-resistant TB strains develop more readily in patient diagnosed with DSTB. So this is also correct to the point. All right, let's see the answer. So World Tuberculosis Day, we already know, March 24. Okay, and TP likely uses a combination of medicine for effective DSTB treatment, correct. All right, India has the highest TB burden, correct. And dot slides on medication access and supervision. All right, this is also correct. An incomplete or interrupted treatment for DSTB will result into DRTB. This is also correct. All right, coming to the next question. This question, azadirachtin, which acts as a biopesticide, is commonly found in where? Neem, pyrethrum, karanja, lemongrass. All right, now this is also a factual question. Now what happens when you go to the exam, you classify it as a factual question and you occur to the conclusion that we don't know this. But there are students who know this. Okay, there are students who know this. So how to convert this weakness of not knowing the facts into strength? It is by clearly and observationally reading the news. So where we could read this news? All right, this is, so what is the source? So source is this, the Hindu. Source is again the Hindu. All right, so AI helps classify neem fruits based on the azadirachtin content. All right, you can read this news in the PDF. So neem, this is the correct answer. Azadirachtin is a major component in the neem oil. This is not correct, but let's read about this. Pyrethrum. So pyrethrum is a natural insecticide derived from Chrysanthemum flowers, a different biopesticide option. Okay, this type of questions keep coming. Insecticide, biopesticide, biotechnology. Wherever you read the word bio, the question will come surely in one year or the another. All right, bio asphalt, bio treatment, bio this, bio that. All right, wherever you read this word bio, the question, the probability of the question coming in the exam increases manifold. Okay, this is Karanja. So Karanja is a tree with insecticidal properties again, similar to neem, but the active compound is not this azartine. Okay, lemongrass, it has some insect repellent properties, but isn't a well-known biopesticide. It has more smell, sort of. Okay, lemongrass is, we also use it in tea, right? So answer is neem for this. So you can read this news. AI helps classify neem fruits based on the as a direct in content. Okay. Now let's go to the further next one. How many of the following statements are correct? Chhattisgarh is the largest producer state of onion in India. Okay, again factual. So how to know? All right. So basic crop, onion is a basic crop of India and very famous. India is the largest producer of the onion in the world also. Okay, so we should know that which state in India is the largest producer of the onions. So let's come to the second sentence. The Indian government recently removed the export ban on onions due to growing international demand. May or may not be true. We need to read the news for this. All right, we'll see. Third thing is India is the globally the largest onion exporting country. All right, correct or incorrect? Let's see. And Arya Kirtiman, Arya Laliman variety, Arya Kalyanare are some hybrid varieties of onion. We don't know this also. Initially, this is also factual. So let's see. So what is the source? Source is this. Source is the Hindu again. So center has actually extended, not removed. Okay. The export ban on onion until further orders to increase domestic availability and keep its prices under check. So a measure to stop inflation. So another question can be made that export ban on items would affect which of the following? All right, inflation. So earlier the export was prohibited and so on, so on. We don't need to read this. Just this part is important. Okay. So top onion producing states in India. This is the top onion producing state known as Maharashtra. And the second state is Karnataka, the second most producing state. All right, third is Gujarat. Fourth is MP and so on. If you just remember top three. All right, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Gujarat. So the five biggest exporter of onion are globally we are talking the Netherlands, mainland China, then India. All right, so this statement is incorrect. Okay, so collectively the cohort of major expand sold, so on, so on. We don't need to read this. Okay, so India is the largest producer. India is the largest producer of onions, but not the largest exporter. Okay, China and Netherlands are further in the exports. Okay, let's see these varieties. Onion hybrids, Arka Kirtiman, Arka Laliman variety, Arka Kalyana Ray suitable for paste preparation. Okay, so this high yielding F1, this is what is the meaning of F1? All right. So F1 is first filial generation or basically the first generation. Okay, let's say we cross two plants, two onion plants. One is tall. All right, and one is having some sort of pest resistant qualities, and the hybrids produced are the F1 hybrids. All right. So these all Arka Kirtiman, Arka Lalima, Alka Kalyan, they are all having different properties. Let's say high yielding, high yielding F1 hybrid for paste making, waste making. All right. So various different, let's say, qualities they have. So coming to the question now, let's just come back to the question first. So Chhattisgarh is the largest. No, incorrect. We know the Maharashtra is the largest. Next thing is the Indian government recently removed the export ban. Not removed, actually expanded the ban. India is globally the largest onion exporting country. No, largest producer, but not exporting again. And these are the varieties. So three statements are incorrect and only one statement is correct. All right. So here are the explanation. Okay, 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 and okay. Now we know everything. All right. Let's come to the question number 4. So Allahabad High Court recently ruled that the Uttar Pradesh Board of Madrasa Education Act violated the principle of secularism enshrined in the Indian Constitution. Considering this case and concept of secularism, which is the following statement is or are correct? Secularism basically means respect or let's say according to constitution treating all religions equally or having basically no national religion. All right, so treating all religions carefully, sorry, equally. Okay, so let's see the statements. The constitution completely, okay, a very extreme sentence. Extreme sentences are usually incorrect. Prohibits any form of religious education in educational institutions. This is not likely correct. Okay, the state has absolute power, again, very extreme sentence, to regulate and manage all educational institutions, including those providing religious instruction. All right, third, the right to education under Article 21A allows for separate education system based on religion. This may not be correct, okay, because right to education says what? That compulsory education for children, basically. All right, all children. So this may have some sort of unified system. Unified system. So it will not, it will be operated through a single body, let's say schools. Okay, so after that, after clearing this RTA or schools, then the government should have a data also that how many students were enrolled, how many students were. Okay, so this will be operated generally by the schools, government schools or other private schools in some seats. Let's say 15% of seats in a government private school are reserved for the students who come with the RTA Act, all right to Education Act. All right, what do we see here that Article 21A allows for separate educational system? So this is not likely correct. Let's come to the fourth one. The Allahabad High Court ruling may have implications for integrating students from madrasa into the formal school system. So this also coherent with the third statement and also let's say saying may. All right, may have implications. So very minor suggestive sentence or statement. So this is likely correct. All right, let's come to the source now. So Allahabad SC terms UP Madrasa Act a violation of secularism. All right, so teaming the Uttar Pradesh Board of Madrasa Education Act 2004. So what we see here is the court observed that while the students of all other religion are getting education in modern subjects, denial of the same quality by the Madrasa board amount to violation of both Article 21A and 21 of the Constitution. So what they are saying that madrasas are not giving the same education as modern schools, which is entirely true. Okay, so this is a violation of Article 21A and 21. Okay, right to equality and right to education. Right to life, sorry. Article 14 is right to equality. All right. So basically, this is the crux of the news that we needed to read. Furthermore, let us come to the explanation. So first is obviously incorrect. Article 25, basically the right to freedom of religion. All right, it is also written here. Guarantee freedom of religion, including the right to establish and maintain educational institutes. So madrasas are under this with a religious character. And religious education is allowed but not mandated. Okay, second is also incorrect. While the state has some regulatory power, absolute power is not with the state. All right. And it's not actually supported by the constitution at least. Third thing is also incorrect. So Article 21 emphasizes right to education, potentially requiring a unified system for all students. So this is what I said. Correct. This is also the High Court ruling highlights potential conflicts between separate religious education system, and basically it means that these should be mandated in the modern schooling system now from the madrasas. So now coming back to the question itself, we found that this was incorrect. This was incorrect. Okay, this was also incorrect, and this is correct. The fourth one is correct. All right. Let's come to the next question. Okay, this is from our lecture, the last lecture. We saw the arrest of Delhi's Chief Minister, Mr. Kejriwal, and we saw what implications will come if he does not decide to resign about the president's rule and all. So 68th Amendment Act of 1997 inserted Article 239AA in Constitution conferring special status to Delhi. Is this correct or incorrect? All right. Do you remember? Article 239A is based on recommendation of S. Balakrishnan committee that was set up in 1987 to look into Delhi's demands for statehood. Is it correct or incorrect? All right. Imagine this is coming in, let's say, prelims directly. Okay, Article 355 imposes a duty on the center to ensure that the government of every state is carried out in accordance with the provision of the constitution. Correct or incorrect? Okay, and 38th Amendment Act of 1975 made the satisfaction of the president in invoking Article 356 final and conclusive, which would not be challenged in any court or any ground. Does this look correct or sound incorrect? Okay, so this is the source of the news. Arvind Kejriwal sent to ED custody. So again, news is from the Hindu Indian Express, wherever you can read it. Okay, and we covered it in on our YouTube channel completely. Okay, all the amendments, articles, everything. So let's see this. A and D are correct. So 69th amendment, not 68th. Okay, of 1991, the same year in which the GNCTDA rule was act was enacted. Okay, the 1991, and Delhi was not given statehood. Okay, not complete statehood was given to Delhi, but allowed a double government type of system where there was a lieutenant governor as well as the legislative assembly. All right, so this was according to the S. Balakrishnan committee. So, out we see 69th Amendment Act of 1991 inserted 239 AA into the constitution. This article grants special status to Delhi, establishing a legislative assembly but not granting full statehood. All right, coming to the next question, next statement. It was based on recommendation of S. Balakrishnan committee set up in 1987. This is correct. This was tasked with examining Delhi's demand for statehood and suggesting alternative governance structures. Okay, recently one panel was formed under the let's say committee of ex-president Ramnath Kovind. So which was that panel? What was it related to? You tell me in the comments. Okay, statement C, article 355. So this is correct. Okay, it imposes a duty on the center that every state should basically run as per the constitution, or the constitution machinery should be alive in all the states. So this is what happening in Delhi. Okay, that lieutenant governor may say that I don't agree with the fact that let's say chief minister can be in the jail and the constitutional machinery has not failed. So he can press the president, he can request the president to consider this situation and let's say enforce the president's rule there or state emergency there. Okay, let's come to the statement D. So 38th Amendment Act of 1975 did do this. It makes the president's rule unjustificable or non-justificable in the court. Okay, this amendment made the president decision to impose president rule in the state final and beyond judicial review. All right, no judicial review was allowed. But what happened later? That this provision was subsequently deleted by 44th Amendment Act of 1978. So it's very important to have the updates on the Constitutional Amendment Act, that what was the initial form of the CAA when it was enacted and what happened to it later. Okay, the statement can come about the CAA that was enacted in the previous form. If we do not know that it, let's say it was cancelled out later, then it may sound the previous form was, let's say the statement may sound incorrect. All right, so please take care of this. All right, coming to the next question. This question we'll deal in the next lecture. These 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 questions we'll deal in the next lecture. Till then, I'll send you the PDF on the Telegram channel as well. You try to solve these questions. All right. Thank you. Have a great day ahead. This is Yatharth signing off. And please leave your feedbacks in the comment section. What did you like about the video? What you did not like? What are your suggestions? And how we can make things better. All right. And please try to solve these questions. If you have any feedback, please feel free to let me know. Thank you very much.